look.
Okay, so the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about is cosplaying if you don't want to go the whole hog. You know, like if you're not comfortable with the makeup and having the whole thing. Is this one thing that I kind of do every now and again, and what I did after I finished doing full-blown cosplay was a lot of characters have things that make them distinct, or an accessory that is very identifiable to that character. And what I was going to do for GriffCon, before it became 10 p.m. before my 3 a.m. flight, I was going to do Sister of Silence hair. So I had a piece of drain pipe, I made the big hair cuff, I got the red hair extensions, and then there you have like a little costume. It's distinctive, people will recognize it hopefully. So that's another side of cosplay. If you're really not somebody who wants to put the time, the money into the full power armor set, then make
a lot of time.
Yeah, then make a power fist maybe. And I wish Games Workshop shared that cardboard.
Oh, the one in the store.
Yeah, but like, why haven't they made that like a template that we can go off and get and make at home? You know.
Oh.
So I say I'm making an alt power claw out of cardboard at home, and that wouldn't have come over, but that's a thing you can kind of have, and
well, maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Lightning claws.
Oh yeah.
Big fan of lightning.
I just take a gauntlet, honestly. Like you're right, even just like the power fist would be really cool.
Yeah, something like that.
There's so, as I said, just think, mine's go. There is so many free patterns as well. I know off the top of my head. I know there is Space Marine helmets. Done a couple of those. Those patterns are free. A guy, SKS Props, has got a chainsaw. It's
That's
a free pattern for a chainsaw, and it's just literally just layering foam together. Just cut, as I said, cut them out, glue it together, and then, as I said, there is so many free patterns out there from covering Warhammer. Oh, Warhammer's always going to be a huge cosplay tool, because you've got so many. But as I said, you said about a full. I've hands up, admitting this to everyone now. I've never actually cosplayed. I've built I've built tons for people.
Yeah, and that's
all
the other
around
thing,
the world,
right?
but I've always got, right, I'm going to do it, because I was going to do Malcolm Roll, because I just wanted a massive big gun with a big side on the end. I was like, we can have a gun one of those, and I was like, the rest of it's material, so it can't be that bad. But no, I've done bits and pieces, but I did a Space Marine-esque for reasons of not wanting to get sued for a film a couple of years back, and that was like 6 months work.
Yeah, and
getting that done.
What
and
film? Yeah, exactly.
It's called Gunmetal Max. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, well, I haven't thought about that, so.
Still what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that was I did it, and then I didn't know the actor. Then no one told me the actor who was going to be in the suit. And I was like,
I thought, gaps.
Right, well, they told me there's going to be a male actor in it. I was like, well, I just assumed he was going to be approximately my height. I'm 6'1". And they went, yeah, he needs to be like 7'2". And I was like, how tall is the actor? And they were like, he's 5'3". I'm like, sorry. So I had to literally take the whole leg out and put a 13-inch stilt in the bottom of the thing.
Oh no.
And it was like, that's it.
This looks amazing, everyone in the class. This
It's
looks so cool.
It's very.
We should have kept that on and just like
Literally, this looks amazing. Oh look, it's got so many awards.
Apparently got loads.
What?
Are you accredited at least? Are you in, do we have to sit all the way through the credits?
I've just done another film for them as well.
This is really cool.
Did a spaceship for them. That's still in process.
See, that's another thing I absolutely love at Bigatures. With Lord of the Rings, they
kept calling it a miniature. This spaceship was like 3 foot
No,
by 2
no.
feet. That's a miniature. I was like, it's really not. I'll bring some epic scale down and I'll show you what a miniature is.
I'll show you what a miniature is.
They were like, yeah, it's a miniature. I was like, really not.
And the other thing with cosplay as well is that there's no obligation in it. You made the cosplay. Cosplay is costume play.
Yeah.
So you commission something. If you well, we don't have the skill to do it. Just get it commissioned, because it's not, you're not there. Like Warhammer Fest did do judging based on the build, but there is judging based on, you know, your characterization. Are you just wearing the costume, or are you becoming the character? You know, so
performance
the
aspects,
performance
like
aspects, which is why they have the stage set up. But you go and commission it, or like we just said, you know, commission a bolt gun and just have the bolt gun for the day, kind of a thing.
A huge amount of work. Something like that isn't. It's just a hollow. It's just basically a series of hollow boxes.
That was going to be my question. How long did it take you to make like one of those?
You can pattern it. Well, I patterned. I didn't cheat.
That's definitely what people who don't cheat
No,
say
I
at the end of their sentence.
Go onto Google.
Yeah.
Find, because I did this with a Spaceballs Frost Axe as well. That now went out to the States. Find like a side-on picture of, and the same as that as well. If you literally go and put into Google Images like plasma incinerator, you'll get like a picture, and then you copy it onto a computer. And then there's a free program called Inkscape that's completely free. And it's basically, you get the picture up on the plasma gun, and then you just go click, 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 and you draw around it in a line drawing, and then you bin off the picture, and you're just left with a line drawing. And because it's vectored, you can scale it up from this big to that size, print it out, take the pieces together, and you then use that as a template to make things. And then you've got a rough idea on translating from two-dimensional to three-dimensional. It's the same, exactly the same with that. I think I just drew that out by hand. It's not the most complicated shape, it's just like a box.
Yeah.
But then you just take, once you've got one side of it, you can work out the rest of it. But yeah, it's just PVC pipe and...
That's it. Adam Savage, I'm assuming like literally everyone in the room knows Adam Savage as a stage. There was a bit that he did in one of, there's a special, a Mythbusters special, which was about them shopping for things. And he talks a lot about when he worked in Industrial Light and Magic, and he's like, oh, picks up a random piece of plumbing. This was this gun in this scene for this section. And there's I don't know if it's a Gundam kit, no it's not, it's like a World War II Japanese plane, and they have these things on the greebles, and apparently they would like buy every single one of these just for this one tiny piece of plastic. And that's it's the movie, there's a space movie out there, and they made a bigature of the set design, and they used these greeblies. So then when the set designers came in to make it full size, they have these giant greeblies from the Spec and Airfix kit, like this big on the set. But it's a brilliant episode because he goes around and says, oh yeah, we would use this for this, or we would use this for this. And on his YouTube channel, his tested channel, he goes through, he kind of does that as well. He talks a lot about how this piece of plumbing, or this hinge, or this bolt head actually looks like.
You're going back before, so it's not like, oh, we need to, just 3D print it.
Yeah, now it's 3D print.
I think it's the end of the original Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber has got this weird, like, design. It's a tap.
Yeah, and it's like...
It's an Armitage Shanks tamp. Apparently some really obscure tap, and they were like, yeah, we'll just have that. Apparently if you can buy one now, they are worth so much money because everyone wants them for these things.
But
it's like,
it has a tap.
the other one was like an old camera flash or something that they then made into a lot, and it's just like, because there wasn't 3D printing, like there is, you're like, oh, I can just go and, because you could go online and find, there's hundreds of files and probably Thingiverse where you can just go, I'll just 3D print a bolt pistol. I've seen loads of people doing it, but the problem with that is if you drop it, it's in pieces, and carrying it around a day, they get heavy. I think making stuff is more fun anyway, as opposed to things.
Yeah,
I've got no issues with 3D printing. I remember, I think it was Warhammer Fest when it was at the Rico Arena a few years ago, and the 3D printing was just starting to come out, and I think I took the bolt pistol because someone wanted to use it for a photo shoot. It's Staz, I think, when she did her Severina Rain cosplay. And there was another guy there that had a bolt pistol, but it was 3D printed. And I was like, oh, did you design a model? And he was like, no, just print. And And I was like,
Nice.
I think 3D printing is fantastic with all of this, with the miniatures, with everything, but I'm like,
Well, the Imperium probably 3D.
yeah, I was like, this is, in my opinion, it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more hands-on, and you feel a lot more satisfaction.
I can see it.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. That's when you
Yeah,
get.
things like purity seals and stuff like that. I imagine it's quite good for like little accessories.
Oh, they're
and
super
stuff.
easy.
But the foam just seems, I don't know, like.
We start by making like a wee thing, like
Start
make
with
a
like a-
hair cuff
yeah,
or something, and
Or a
make
shoulder,
mine's out
a
of-
shoulder pauldron or
Yeah.
a bracer or something really simple.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's just literally just bend, like, what did I did something ages ago. Oh, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi's Clone Wars armor, which is literally shoulder pauldron and a bracer and like an elbow cuff, and that was it. And it was super simple, it's just white, and I was like, this is easy. So I made that for someone in the States again. But yeah, start simple, start small. And as I said, if anyone wants any, there is some really good foam companies now, and you can get special paints as well. They're all flexible paints, sealers and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a bit more to it. It's not just make it, paint it. There is a
Yeah.
few more steps to it, but it's not.
Is that hand painting then, or did you?
Is that
Is that airbrushed or hand painting?
airbrushed and aerosol?
Oh,
I will say know your paints because so acrylic is a plastic paint, plastic-based paint. Obviously you've got water, oil, and then when you start going into like airbrushing and stuff, we've got different types of paints and inks. Because if you're doing a curved surface or you're doing something that moves, you might end up splitting and stretching the paint on the surface. Because if you've ever painted acrylic and it's got on something, you can kind of peel it off like a sheet and you don't want it to break. So I would,
There is specialist paints
Yeah.
for cosplay and for fun.
so in one way I would say don't buy your materials from a cosplay place because you're going to be paying a fortune for it. If you need EVA foam, go to the range and buy the paint mats. But when it comes to things like the paint and the glue, there's people out there who have cosplayed for like decades who have made all the mistakes and have kind of like in the miniature world where people have like a Grimdark Compendium has made paint specifically for people who like their oil washes. There will be people who've done all the mistakes and research and they'll be like, this is the paint for you. We've made this specifically and it does the job really well. So there is those out there. So if ILM kit bash with tap heads and greeblies, they then don't feel like you can't either.
That was loads of spares. As I said, when I just did that Greeblies, I was like, might have a few spare bits of plastic. So if anyone ever sees the spaceship in that film,
Oh, I'm not going to look at that.
you've got to play Spot the Warhammer bits.
We'll have a bit.
Because there is lots and lots of But I found bits from like Second World War tank kits. I was like, what's this from? I was Tiger 1, you can stick that on. What's that? Oh, it's from a towel, riptide, that'll go. I just literally just covered it in glue and just threw bits in it.
Yeah.
So they were quite happy. But it's just use what you've got available. And
Like if you want rivets, go to the range and buy like Diamante bling bits.
googly eyes.
And googly eyes are really great.
My
Googly
friend
eyes
uses googly eyes,
Googly
and she
eyes
did
are-
her sister battle on
Yeah.
it before it looked like Siege, because it was
Oh, is it? They make
It was
really,
really cool.
Yeah, self-adhesive googly eyes. Just
Yeah.
smack them on.
Yeah.
You have to make sure sometimes you have to glue the actual pupil because
Otherwise you're going-
You can hear the rattle, yeah. It's so smart though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing we've all dabbled in miniature painting in this room, yes. Yeah.
I'm in the right place.
No, this is really awkward. It's like all of those techniques that you do with miniature painting, they're blown up. That's what you're doing. You're bigger painting. You're dry brushing, you're washing, you're wet blending, and everything like that. You're priming. You're varnishing, but it's a scale that's like this.
Just on a bigger scale, yeah. Just use.
Yeah.
Don't use a size 1 brush. Aerosols, bigger. As I said, I use a range of paints called Hex Flex that are exactly that. They're flexible, designed for cosplay. They're very well pigmented, to be fair, but they come in aerosols as well. So things like that. The metallics are good. But yeah, I think the most important is just have fun. There's no As you said, it's costume play. It's just find something that you want to do. The thing is, you could be any.
You can be anything.
Literally be anyone or anything that you want. And as I said, you could go completely incognito. I did think about doing something next year that was completely. No one would have.
Adam Savage does Adam Incognito.
Does Comic-Con every year in something like a spaceman or something.
What I loved was when he went with Chris Hadfield and they made a replica spacesuits. I can't remember from what movie. I want to say. I can't remember, but
one of the space ones.
But he designed a cooling system for inside because STCC is July in San Diego and going on at the minute, and he had this whole cooling system in there, and Chris Hadfield's like, this is fucking luxury, lads. You know, we didn't have any of this, but then he was in space, so. But yeah, he did that incognito, and I don't know if I would have been more starstruck with Chris Hadfield or. You know, like, that's so amazing. Bit of both. But yeah, it's start small. Good recommendation is get yourself a pair of shoes. You do not need to make shoes for your costumes. Get a good pair of shoes, really comfortable. Like I'm thinking of doing next year. Sisters of Silence Judge. She wears lovely wedged boots. So I would just find a pair of black wedges from, we call them pennies, but it's Primark here, and then you build on that, and they become your cosplay shoes. They're comfortable, it's not going to eat your feet up.
There's loads of good tutorials for
and
modifying
you
shoes
would like Velcro the armour onto the boots. You can also, if you ever, it's probably not relevant to the lads here, but sometimes you can get like knee-high and thigh-high boots that are just like elastic. They're like a really thick legging material. They're fantastic because you just like Velcro stuff all the way down them, and they're really easy to take off if you need a break. Cooling if you're going extreme, cooling vests and stuff. A camel pack.
Rest, because one thing about foam armour is it is like wearing like a heat blanket. Because that when we did that film, that guy, I don't know how he did it. We filmed it in midsummer in a loft studio in Brighton, and it was, I mean, I couldn't sit in there, and this guy was in the foam suit, and he was like, and he can't, so he had to every now and again take the drink and the straw, because it gets hot, so take plenty of breaks. But I was like,
I was like,
the guy, he must have lost 2 stone in sweat. It was just, I felt so sorry for him. But
I don't know where I was saying it yesterday, but behind the scenes for Lord of the Rings, one of my favourite photographs is the Uruk-hais with umbrellas. This is such a funny, stupid thing to say.
I think definitely I'm already.
You got things going in.
Going in for next year, but as I said, I'm always. I think most of you guys know me. You're all on my Discord or my Instagram or something, but I'm always, same with the miniatures, I'm always happy to help people. I'm always happy to take questions. If you've got a question about where did you get that from? What foam is that? Where's it from? What paint? I've got an idea, how do I do this? What's that program you talked about to do the drawings and stuff? Just message me.
That's why I stayed.
There's no gatekeeping here.
Well, I'm always happy to.
You build the resources for the UK, I'll build resources for Europe.
There you go.
Because like loads of people will be like, oh, you've got to get this, and I'll see it's the UK, and I'm like, oh no, I have to go and drive over and smuggle everything.
There's a couple. It's definitely, as I said, there is so many free tutorials and free patterns, and some really Camille's fantastic. She knows what she's doing. There's Kim Patterson, even Ted, my mentor. He's the guy that taught me. I've been lucky enough to be really good friends with him for years and years and years now. We did the Institute Laser Festivals with his build. We did a swap.
Oh, nice.
I built him something, he built me something, and I was like, right, what should I do? And I was like, I did Corbin Dallas's blaster from the Fifth Element.
That's so cool.
Oh,
that's a great swap.
But Ted was the guy that built all the props for the Fifth Element. And he's just done. If you've seen the Fallout show, he's the guy who did the Rad Roaches. Yeah, so I was like, might have bitten off a bit more than I could chew. And I was like, yeah, we're building that.
I painted a plate in a ceramics shop.
But no, he was, as I said, he came over to the UK a few years ago, and I said he's a fantastic, and he's got again loads of free patterns, loads on YouTube, does Twitch, and then there is like Punished Props Academy. There is free stuff out there. You don't have to spend money. Just literally go free fun. I'll put a list in the Discord of all the free patterns, and said I know there is loads of free Warhammer stuff out there, and but I think as Ray said, start small, start simple. As I said, the first thing I ever think I built was like a Destiny hunter's knife, and it was literally just like cut this out, stick two of them together, done.
Yeah.
And it was start small, and that's what got me started. So, but yeah, I'll make a list of like suppliers and free templates and stuff.
I'd like that.
Yeah, we'll work out a thing.
Yeah.
So I think you're on the Griffin Discord, so I'll work it out. But
Or just pop it on the website. That way, no one has to kind of join a billion Discords.
yeah, that's
Your one,
Discords.
your one, John's one.
everyone's got.
What I love is-
I could just draw one of yours and then just say.
What I love doing is clicking on it, goes mutual servers, and it's like.
Yeah, it's about everyone and their cat's uncle has got a Discord server now. But no, as I said, if any questions, I think next year, definitely, please don't be afraid to go have a go at it. And as we said, you don't have to do. I'm not expecting everyone to turn up next year and assist us about our outfit or a Terminator armor, which would be cool.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, just loads of people just walking along. But you can just turn up with, as I said, I forgot, I was going to bring my space plane helmet, I finished it.
Oh, what
But you could just turn up with that and a chainsaw. That's good enough.
Yeah, and you know, if there's, you see people wearing Doctor Who scarf, you know, or back in my day it was Pippin's scarf. You know, the people would knit that, and that would that be their little thing, or they would just wear a wig.
To the character.
Yeah. So in terms of exhibitors and stuff like that, what would you like to see in the realm of cosplay? Like, because at the moment we've got very miniature focused and miniature adjacent, but when it comes to cosplay, what would you like to see in an exhibitor's hall?
I want a workshop.
A workshop.
I want a whole little mini, maybe like a little crafting bench where you get a little thing and you can customize it in your own way, and then you can. I want like a more hands-on thing because I can see them. I love seeing them.
Yeah.
I love like the weapons rack and seeing everyone's armor, but I want something that I can be like, cool. Here's your like customization table where you've got like the googly eyes and some trim and stuff, so you can like PT's little kit bash thing, where you get a gauntlet. Or something like that.
I like that. And like
or
a
you can like
maybe purity seals where you can do your own like inscriptions.
and you get like, I don't know, like a hot like things you can cut out little stencils and just like try it for the first time to see what it's like. That's what I would like personally.
A big kit bash thing.
Something like
Giant
that.
kit bash.
Giant kit bash.
Okay. I'm sure I can.
Just make like, I don't know, 20 gauntlets, like fine, easy.
Yeah, fine.
It's easy. Well, no, it's
got an
kind of
hour.
like your little goblin guys.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing them like everywhere, and they're all just people. Jeff. They're all Jeff.
They're all, for some reason, Jeff. But yeah, I'd like to try it, I think, because I keep looking at it and I keep being like, this is the coolest thing ever, but I don't know how to like start. I don't know what it feels like to cut foam. I don't know like what it's like to glue it. So I think a little something like that.
Surprisingly, it's not difficult to cut, but everyone's like, it's just foam, but it absolutely destroys plates.
Well, yeah, because I have a bandsaw.
Really.
Yeah.
It's just foam. It's not gonna. But you do like 4 or 5 cuts and like that. Like,
It's kind of like the equivalent of when someone uses your shears for sewing to do paper. You don't think paper blunts, but it destroys the fabric scissors. And it's the same thing. So I have a bandsaw. I have a hot saw that is used to kind of dig into like.
You might use hot wires.
And that's it, yeah, like a good, like one of those
wire.
square batteries, you know, the square ones, and just loop a bit of wire. And don't do this at home.
it works for some stuff. If you go onto the higher density foam, a hot wire just doesn't work. And the other problem as well, you have to
use hot wires, but obviously it's industrial hot wires.
Yeah.
And ventilation as well, because if you burn that stuff, it's not the friendliest.
Get yourself a ventilator or like
Good respirator,
yeah, and if you have a shop vac, you can make your own extractor fan. Another great thing, and it helps with kit bashing. So while we were in Peach's class, things are just like pinging everywhere and you can find it. Is if you have your vacuum and put a pair of tights over the end of the vacuum, and as you vacuum up, it just sort of sticks to the end, and then you can be like, oh, what a thing. Because what you don't want to do is cut something that goes into particles and vacuuming that into your vacuum, because then you get like a little mini dust explosion and your vacuum can go on fire. So always make sure that there's like something in there to catch it, so you can just kind of push it off to the side. Don't use hot glue and paint on your lovely dining room table.
But not
Or a knife, always get a cutting mat.
that.
So you don't actually need a dedicated space, but if most of us are hobbyers, we probably have a hobby space. But just be careful.
With foam, you don't need a huge amount of stuff to do with foam. You need some foam, a decent craft knife, some contact cement, a metal ruler, not a plastic ruler, and a heat gun if you wanted to sort of mould stuff. You can mould it by hand and it will work, but if you heat it up, you just let it set. So you don't need a huge amount of money spent. You can get heat guns for like £10.
Yeah, so the cuff I was making it was bejeweled, had a skull I bought in a Halloween shop years ago. It was a piece of plumbing pipe and 2 cable ties for like the ridge you get in some armour, and like the trim. The only thing that really annoys me with kit bashing right the way up to making big things is knowing your glue. I just want a glue, but then you realise the PVC pipe is one type of plastic, and the Airfix kit is a polystyrene-based plastic, and the cable ties are another piece of plastic, and you've got like 3 types of glue going on the fucking thing. Hot glue seems to do everything, but it is one of those things. It heats, it runs, it's like it pipes out like icing.
It's very messy hot glue.
Yeah, it's napalm, it gets on you and you're burning.
It goes that dry. Oh no, it's not dry. It's massive piston. So just ask questions. I think it's going to do your research. There is, as I said, it's still a huge hobby. It's still a massive. There's so many people doing it, and there is tons and tons of stuff on all the social medias, YouTube and everything.
I was going to give my next question. What's the cosplay community like?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's you have purists. Okay,
Purists.
So it's I don't know if they're in the community or they're just people who will go, oh, you've got the wrong purity seal on the wrong generation armour.
The worst bunch for that is the Star Wars guy.
I hear that's
it, the Star Wars.
What's the 501st? That's the one I hear. Yeah,
I started doing some bits for because I was going to do a biker scout.
Oh, okay.
And I took some bits to them, and they were like, on the chest plate on the biker scout, there's a little bit about that big, just sits in the little indent, and they were like, it's not the right grey, is it? I was like, it's dark grey. They were like, it's not the right shade of dark grey though. And I was just like, and then I looked at it and was like, do you know what? And then I saw them at MCM and I was just like, if I want to go to a convention, I want to go and do some of that, then take it off, walk around and then have fun. But it was literally like a regiment. It was like, right, and I heard their briefing, they were like, because I was there as a guest, so I was there before they opened up. And they were like, right, you've got 15 minutes to be over there, and then you're going to be over there for half an hour, and then you're going to get a 10-minute break. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun.
What I love about cosplay is walking around and having, I keep forgetting what her name is, it's something like Manic Pirate, the little girl. Who's kid?
Oh,
Princess Pirate, Raven's
yes.
little girl. And I just love it when kids come up. I don't know what you are, but you're fun, and can I have a picture with you? And that's what I love. And as well with Space Marine 2 coming out, where you can kind of customize your Marine and you can kind of do your own chapter thing going. That I would love to see that, like people in Marine armor or having their own like kind of funky insignias going on. So it's one of those. that's the kind of dichotomy in it. You've got the absolute purists who are like, you've got the wrong thing on your wrong thing, it's a different generation, it shouldn't be there. And then you've got people who are just like, how did you make this? What was your secret?
That's really fun.
That's amazing. Like we're doing right now is, oh, we'll just send you a load of these free things, you know, because, you know, we want people to do it. So no, I don't know if the purists are being mean, particularly going out their way to be mean. It's just, I think it's
just they don't like correcting people.
Yeah. Oh, they're the actually people. You know, actually.
Some people are just wired that way.
Yeah, they really are, aren't they?
Unfortunately, but as I said, it's very similar to the miniature community. But so if you're going to, whatever community, you'll 99.9% of the people are all absolutely lovely and absolutely wonderful and super nice to talk to. There's always going to be the odd bad apple, but.
When I did cosplay for Firefly, Joss Whedon's project, people would just dress up as brown coats. There wasn't a costume. It was, you're in the world of Firefly and you're a brown coat. So there you are. I am a brown coat. And so there wasn't anything there. And if you decided to only wear a brown coat, like I was saying, only taking one element of it, that they accepted that too, and you know.
It's open to. It's the same as miniatures though. You could go, well, I'm going to paint this Space Marine as an Ultramarine because that's what I want to do. Or you could just go, I'm going to paint it white pink with yellow spots. It's open to interpretation. It's about, as I said, I've always said this. I've never taken anything too seriously. About having fun, enjoying yourself, and just doing something with it. But no, I think definitely next year, I think it's going to be.
So a little bit of hands-on, a little bit of kit bashing. It would be great. Maybe you've got way more contacts than me. Maybe getting in touch with a few people in the industry, prop making and stuff. That would be kind of really cool. Kind of in the same way as we've got the competition with the miniatures. Maybe like a little museum-y thing of props that have been made. Maybe half-finished ones. I don't know if you've got any. I think everyone has projects that are half-finished.
Oh, trust me, I've got tons.
Yeah. So people can be like, oh my god, it actually is a tap and a piece of plumbing, but it's
got a ghost axe, singing spear,
a
shuriken pistol. Just sitting there like,
I'll get back to them.
I'll do those later. But that's the thing. It's the same with miniatures. It's like we have people coming in and talk about, oh, I haven't done any painting for like 3 weeks, and I'm like.
That's alright.
It's not a problem, they're not going to evaporate. You can put it there and leave it there for a year, it's not going anywhere.
Unless you're my husband who doesn't want me to just put it there and leave it there for 3 weeks.
So, no, it's staying there. But no, as I said, I think definitely, but as I said, I think the big thing is, as I said, ask questions.
Yeah. So does anyone have questions? Don't ask me questions.
No, do.
Action Man helmet, Woolworths, early 2000s, great for a gondola.
Halloween.
Where would you start with it all? I know it's back to something small, but is there anything that you sort of recommend to start, like a weapon or a bit of armour, or what would you sort of start with?
Well, because the hobby community is very like, person does one thing, person does like, so before I did cosplay, I was an artist, so I knew how to paint. So I did a lot of. That's how I got into it. I was like, how do I make a thing look like a thing? How do I make a thing look metal?
Yeah.
And then some people come from a sewing background, so they might go, do you know what, I'm actually going to make that character's waistcoat, or I'm going to have a go at making that uniform. So in the miniature community, we have a background in painting and painting techniques and kit bashing. Maybe that's a great way to get into it. Take your kit bashing into a slightly bigger scale. Or one of the things I love, and Louise actually did a video on this, is get a kid's toy and repaint it. So I got, what's his name from Paw Patrol? Chase is on the case, and I repainted him. I'm going to be kit bashing a tractor at some point, so I'm repainting that. So maybe that's a great way to get into it. Like maybe
Nerf guns.
Nerf guns. Oh my gosh, guys! Yes.
I had a business repainting those and selling those a long time ago.
Oh, that's mad. Yeah.
So I got stung by customs, but that's another story.
Nerf guns. There you go. That's like unreal.
Brilliant.
That's a brilliant idea.
And there's obviously some. They did a whole series of like Star Wars ones. I think they did Mandalorian ones. But I would find, same as I would go exactly the same route with cosplay as I would with miniatures. And I say this to everyone: is find something that you want to do. Find a topic or a character that you, or a franchise or a fandom or whatever that you are interested in. But I would always start, especially if you're going to go into foam. I would start with something really simple, like a simple knife or a sword, something not too overcomplicated. Find free patterns, watch the videos that accompany those free patterns. But yeah, things like a pauldron, a bracer, which is just literally just folding a tube of foam. And then I would always start small and then just work up. I wouldn't go, right, do you know what I'm going to do? Space Marine, that's going to be my first thing. Because as I said, that's...
With LEDs.
Yeah, you're looking at 7 months work comfortably, and it's constant fitting. And if you're doing it to scale, then you've got to build stilts into it, which is not as easy as it sounds. Then you've got to walk on them, and yeah, that's...
There's actually some brilliant stilts out there, and I think it was from the World of Warcraft community cosplayers who cosplay the Draenei. They made stilts to give the look of the backward leg, and they look amazing.
A lot of people use plaster as stilts.
Yeah, they're brilliant too, but again,
they're not cheap.
Yeah, you do have to learn to walk in.
Yeah, plaster as stilts.
And it's very hot.
Huh?
Those outfits are very hot.
Very warm.
In which way? Temperature or?
Now we're
Space Marine outfits. Is
there anyone who does sewing that does make a banner? And then you've got something cool hanging on your wall behind your streams, you know? Like, is there a particular chapter banner? Like, I did an Alliance banner years ago. And then you've got something cool on the wall, or maybe you could do something like a faction that you often play against. Maybe do like a really damaged helmet that you can mount on the wall as if you've... A trophy, yeah. And you can just do little things like this, and then you're learning techniques that you're building up from that. So I just love it. I just love it. And what I also love, and you mentioned cars, and I didn't ask you last night because you buggered off. I love cars. No, how dare. I love cars, I'm into cars, I absolutely adore Mad Max and the whole universe of Mad Max. I own a 1979 Ford Capri. I am obsessed. So what I love about cosplay is the big props, getting the Batmobile, something like that, so you can be in that world.
Yeah.
Photo shoots where you might dress up, you might be Batman or something like that. It's like cosplaying and going to Warhammer World and standing in front of the Land Rover.
Yeah.
That's the other bit I love, is like the accessories that come from cosplay. I'm trying to think of some, like General Lee. I've seen General Lee. Mike, he has the General Lee horns.
That is amazing.
It's not concourse, it will never go into a show. It's got absolutely nothing. Yeah. They're not that hard. Capris are hilarious.
This one was. It's full of rust.
The legend with Capris, I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, is that one key can open all Capris because it was like British built 70s, like junk.
One screwdriver.
Well, no, just a good tug. You get it open. And that's the other part of cosplay that I love is going all in and having like. I saw somebody made an Akira bike, the bike from Akira.
Seen Tron bike. Seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Or doing something like going a bit stupid and just getting a push bike and making it a Tron bike, just throwing like the LEDs on it. No, but that's what cosplay is. It's like someone cosplays as Let Me Solo Her. That's insane, you know? Like, that's so much, everyone, other people who are not laughing are like, oh, okay, cool. Basically, there was a guy in Elden Ring, and there's a boss in there, and he like had the most stupidest armor. He was like wearing a bucket, and he had like a loincloth or something.
It's literally a cold or a
Yeah,
loincloth and 2 swords, yeah.
And he would come up to any newbies who were struggling with the boss and be like, let me solo her, and he just came this legend, and someone cosplayed him, and I was just like, that's the other fun side of cosplay as well, is people dressing up as like
random most obscure
things.
characters. But there's the thing, as we said earlier, is that you can do whatever you want to do, be who you ever want to be, and I think it's just...
Someone needs to be sassy nerdling. Maybe get kids, like a lot of people got their kids dress up as hobbits, so they could then dress up as Aragorn and Boromir and stuff.
Sassy nerdling needs to happen.
Or even cosplay is like, if you're more of like on the electrical engineering side of things, people make remote control droids. That's cosplay, you know? Yes, sir. Question back. Hi.
I'm really into Halloween. When I used to live in a house.
No, Halloween is my...
when I used to live in a house, the week before the outside the front would just be made up, and this one year I got a army assault vest rig that was molle, so it had lots of loops everywhere. I then put this like, if you've seen it, the neon cord LED thing, so it's basically the whole thing lights up like it's neon. And I just put that throughout. It was all orange, red, and yellow. I then got a entire like robe made that's torn up, and it had this like fishnet netting on the inside that was black, and it was all black. 3 months before that, I'd made myself a 8-foot scythe.
Wow.
And had foam on the top that I carved into it. And when Halloween come, I would get the smoke machine, put it up get the smoke up inside the robe, and then as I was walking, the glow of the neons and the smoke coming out of it looked like I was the Grim Reaper coming out of hell.
Oh, that's gas. No, Halloween, there you go, there's how you cosplay, Halloween costume.
There is so many, everyone goes crazy for accessories. There's so much things you can buy, like add-ons and masks that you can then just add on and modify and stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be a character. Like, my first Halloween in my current job, I just went creepy pumpkin scarecrow person.
Still works.
And then I was Beetlejuice last year, and I'm still kind of trying to work out what I'm going to do this year, because I'm literally the only one in the office that dresses up, so I'm like, I don't care, it's fun.
I think we've got 5 Nights at Freddy's planned this year.
Oh, and stuff like that. I just think it's brilliant. And then, yeah, kind of that little thing, you don't have to, you could just get a chest burster and just walk up to random people and just go bonk. You know, that kind of, it's like a really weird nerd flasher. You know,
that's Ted's favourite at the minute. I don't know if you've seen, he's got it looks like he's holding this alien egg with both his arms, but obviously one of his arms is false. He's going around, check out this alien egg. But he's got a chest burster puppet on his hand, and people are like, he is scared the living daylights out of so many people that they're like, oh, what's that? That looks pretty cool. And it's just like,
I mean, if you're
hilarious.
into sort of like the makeup, you could just wear your normal clothes and just do something awful to the side of your head.
Now you're saying it, for Halloween years ago I did Two-Face.
Well, there you go, yeah.
Well, that's all it was, just a suit and half my face, latex.
You don't have to go, as I said, you don't have to go full on, as I said, like massive 10-foot Terminator armor. You can go really subtle and just things like that. It just ties it in.
Did you see that person that cosplayed as a chair? And they could sit on him. He stood up and scared the hell out of people.
As a chair.
It was an armchair, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What I love is the little cardboard stuff that they do with kids to make them transform.
Mini Transformers. They come out so
amazing.
Very clever, but as I said, it's very similar to the miniature one. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
There is no.
Oh, they're playing that next one.
Star Wars night here, yeah.
No, like if anyone knows anyone who has like an overcab truck, you could easily make that Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
You just like put things out. It wouldn't be road legal at that point, but there you go. You've got Optimus Prime. It's very easy to Mad Max cars as well, though I do not recommend
probably
it on a
not.
car that you actually drive.
Not quite that.
Yeah, don't put spikes.
Your little
don't put
Igo
spikes on
coming
it.
in, play guitar on top. I don't know if any of you are in the Rogue Hobbies Discord, but I'm sorry that Louise has run off. We actually have a guy in our Discord, Bracken, and he makes props for the 501st, like the rubber stamped proved.
Yeah.
He made, what pistol did he make? And Adam Savage wanted it, but then he got shut down by the studio, so he couldn't officially give it. And he does LARPing, so that's another way. You're not cosplaying to a particular TV show, you're cosplaying to a theme, you're allowing yourself to interpret who you're going to be. But he's a lunatic because he's getting a full suit of armour custom made for him. He's 6'5", massive fella. So he either is a knight in shining armour or he's a bard, and it's such this weird kind of distance between the two.
Very diverse.
Yeah, so it might be kind of cool to
Yeah, I will
get
definitely
him on
I'll
board.
definitely pop on as well.
And he came from an art background. He managed the art department in a college. He now does a lot of 3D printing and 3D designing and stuff. He builds his own headphones. That's another cool thing you could probably do is, if you've got a pair of headphones, look into sculpting and designing something that can go over the top of them. Make cat ears.
Pair of horns.
So he's tapping his watch, so is your watch?
That's supposed to be subtle.
It is.
Yes, that's
now.
a watch.
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, before we finish, very last thing, tell me, what do you want? What would make a cosplay event?
I'll
Something.
second that, like first steps workshop idea.
First steps
Definitely.
workshops.
Okay.
We need to have a cosplay competition.
Cosplay competition. How would we want to do it? Would we want to do it like a painting competition in terms of that there'd be categories, in terms of like
I think
technical?
if you're doing it as a first off, it's going to have to be like the way you do the prizes is going to be like you say, you have to be the drama side of it or the action side of it, rather than the full let's build a space marine. Because
Yeah.
nobody's going to do that. Not even, well, they might do. You're going to get people that you can get both ends.
Go on, James.
I mean, I've
Maybe.
got the buttons.
If we drum up the whole cosplay thing, you never know, fellas might come along and they go, well, I'll come as a spaceman. I'd love to see them at the gaming tables. That'd be
The
great.
thing is, you would draw people like that, especially
Yeah.
with a game.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Well,
I think when it comes to the competition, maybe treat it the way we're treating the open category this year,
Okay.
where it's a case of you've got a full mixed bag because you've got work from like Brannigan in there that is, you know, essentially the professional level, and then you've got, you know, probably kids that have now entered that as well, and it's all being judged based on just what you're seeing in front of you
Yeah.
and what they've done, rather than, hey, this technique is really advanced, this wins
whether you
it.
have to put in like
A bit
classes.
more of an encompassing view, especially if you're going in with that kind of hands-on workshop on the floor and maybe a lesson. You kind of
Beginner class. And
feed the
an
three
expert
together,
class or
so
something.
you've got that pipeline where it's like, okay,
Definitely looking.
you've come in and then the year after you start to build it up a little bit more
Yeah.
and go, okay, now we've got a very technical category
Yeah.
that you can go into.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Sounds good. But yeah, as I said, I'd go back to what I said before, but yeah, if anyone's got, I'll put together a list of some basic products, some basic links, and links to free templates and free sites where there's loads of stuff out there. And biggest thing, as I said, ask questions, do research. There is, I know it sounds silly, there is no such thing as a stupid question. So if you don't know, just ask, because I'm always happy to answer questions. I can put.
The guy that makes those outfits for 501s in Wakefield, by the way, was one of them.
There's a few.
And they're a lot of money, but you could do
Oh
that.
yeah, you could have someone make an outfit for you, but as I said, if you're going down that route, that's rubber, as I said, 501st rubber stamped, as in they have to be like 100% film accurate,
My mate,
and they will not be cheap.
he's got one, he's 5'4", he's a police, he's firearms in police, and he's got what he's paid for, but he's the shortest stormtrooper you've ever seen.
They are, yeah.
But at least he might be able to hit a target though.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so. But yeah, that's it. I think just ask questions, and more importantly, have fun, enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
But
And
thank you.
just do it. Oh my goodness, don't get hung up on the fact that this professional cosplayer uses this type of foam with this type of glue, just do it.
Have a go at it.
Yeah.
There's no, don't buy your mistakes.
That's the thing, everybody started somewhere, aren't they?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
don't hire chainmail.
Yeah.
Don't buy chainmail.
Phone mail.
Phone mail.
Yeah, mate, though, you just get them key rings and put them together.
Loads of key rings.
Yeah.
The pull rings from
Yeah,
Tips.
well, no, I bought them from a market. I did it on one of my leather jackets, and it's like chainmail all down.
Nice one.
It's easy.
Mate, chainmail. Is it Hat Armories that made chainmail?
Huntley's making a full armour suit at the minute.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to wear full metal armour for long. You'd be like many kilos. That's why I say fun.
Fun.
Foam's so easy, and it doesn't break.
No, and if it breaks, it's
Just glue it.
ridiculously
Glue it
easy
back
to
together.
glue it back together.
But yeah, do come and ask questions.
Thank
That's
you
it.
very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So we are allowed to kind of touch